Peace, 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 peace. All right, so I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. If not, do get and understand your day is going to get better once your perception gets better. So today's video is about letting go. Okay, now this concept here came a few days ago. Okay, I was thinking about things that I've been going through, growing through, okay, and I started thinking about how could I let go. So first off, if you are new to my channel, my name is Dina Bryant. Okay, I do these inspirational videos just talking about life. All right, jumping straight into the video. A lot of times we don't want to let go of certain things because we feel the need to control it, right? One of the things that I go through is understanding, honey, Dina, you cannot control anything. Okay, the only thing you can control is your perception. Okay, for instance, a lot of you guys know I have 4 children. Okay, 4 children. I have a 19-year-old, a 16-year-old, a 7-year-old, and a 5-year-old. Okay, and my 16-year-old, she puts me in a mind of me like when I was not about that age, when I was like about 12 years old. Some of the things that she do now that she's 16, I did some of those things when I was 12 years old. And a lot of it is like, I don't want you to do this, I don't want you to do that, because you know, if you do that, your life is gonna I just be saying your life is just gonna be fucked up. Okay, and what I gotta understand is that she is old enough to make her choices and her own decisions. Also, I do like a lot of personal development. So one of the things that I had got from my mentor, Bob Proctor, he would say people are unaware of the things that they do and why they do certain things. And it all stems from their self-image, how they perceive themselves to be. If you think that you are a nobody, you most likely are going to hang around people who look at themselves as being a nobody. If you think that you can't get better friends, then you may settle and you may get friends that may not have the best interest for you. Like they can't show you love because they don't even show themselves love. Like they don't even know what love feels like, right? And so with my oldest daughter, I was going back and forth, and I pretty much was like, you know, I gotta control every aspect because I don't want to see her life being thrown away. I also felt like I was looking at my oldest daughter like she still was a little girl, not ready to understand that she is now 16 years old, about to be 17 next month, right? And so what I started saying was, you know, you could talk to your children as much as you want, but they still are going to do what it is that they want to do. And I know sometimes that you beat yourself up, like you would say, well, maybe it's just here at my house. Honey, it's not just at your house. It would be at somebody else's house as well. Because that's what I learned with my 16-year-old. Like, you know, some of the things she do is not just at my house, is at other people's houses that she stayed at as well. And I just decided, like, I'm just gonna let it go. Because you cannot control things that's outside of your existence. Okay, another example. I remember I would be in a relationship, and whenever the guy would get ready to go out, I would pretty much be like, you know, if you go out and I catch you doing something, that's it. I'm done with you. I'm done with the relationship. Why? Because I was insecure and I wanted to control him. I wanted to control him. I didn't want him to possibly find somebody else and start dating somebody else and leave me for somebody else. So what I had to start understanding was, Dina, you are not in control of anyone, and people are going to do what people want to do. And you just have to allow people to do what they want to do. What it is, for the most part, that I understand when I look at my life, what it is me seeing what people do and then having to follow up with a boundary or the consequence. That's what it is. Like, is the me being afraid of, like, well, if they do this, then I'm gonna have to do this, because most likely it will include, you know, me distancing myself for a certain period of time. And that's mainly what it is. As I'm doing this video, I'm thinking about it. That's what it is. But you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. And I know sometimes it's like, you know, I don't want to let it go. And you don't want to let it go because of the story you tell yourself, right? Like me doing these videos, it's like, I know at times I put up persistence, right? Resistance. Honey, resistance. I know at times I put up resistance, right? And I know the more I'm like, when is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? When is it going to happen? I know the longer it's going to take to happen, because that's what I'm putting up. But the moment where as though I'm like, you know what, I'm going to just make the videos, and when it happened, it just happened. That's when those numbers start going up, and that watch time start going up, right? And because I cannot control it, right? And so what you have to understand, you have to let it do what it need to do, boo, okay? You cannot control it. You just have to understand that things are working out for you. And the more you let it go and you say, I'm just going to put it out there, and whatever the universe need to do with it is going to do what it need to do, boo. And that's it. But a lot of times it's also the story that we tell ourselves. The other day I was listening to Eckhart Tolle, and he's the author of the book, The Power of Now. And one of the things that he was saying was, he said a lot of times it's not so much, you know, it's not so much what happened, but it's the story that you keep on telling yourself that makes the situation even worse, right? It's the story that you keep on telling yourself. For instance, maybe you got out of your mother's door, right? And your mother, like, she was like, don't slam my door, right? But she maybe she had an attitude, and then maybe you was like, my mother always got an attitude, and she gonna tell me not to slam her effing door, and I bet not get in her car like that. Like, it's the story, it's the perception that you give it, and the more you are giving it that story and that perception, the longer it's gonna take for you to get over that situation. Even with things that how we grew up as a kid, right? The reason why you can't get over it at times is because the story that you keep on telling yourself. I used to have a story like, oh, well, you know, if my mother loved me, she would have been there. And it wasn't that my mother didn't love me. That's why she wasn't there. My mother did love me, but my mother she was going through her own stuff. So once I start understanding that, and start understanding that people do the best that they know how to do, right? They cannot do something other than what you may want them to do, because you feel like, oh, well, my life would have been better if they would have been better, or if they would have showed up, or whatever it is. But do you know for sure your life would have been better, right? And so that's mainly like what I take into perspective, and I understand that you have to let it go in order for you to grow, in order for you to let things play out the way they need to play out. And it's really the story, and it's the control mechanism, because you feel as though if you can control it, that your life is going to be a certain type of way that you feel your life ought to be. But a lot of times, the way you think your life should be is not what the universe has in store for you. Like, if you ask, say for instance, you like, all right, I want $100,000 I want to manifest $100,000, right? Now the universe may be like, well, in order for you to manifest that $100,000, I need for you, like, you may have to get fired. right? And once you get fired, like, you're gonna start a business, you're gonna start working on yourself, doing personal development, and then you're going to start meeting people that's going to give you ideas on ways to, create or make $100,000 or whatever, right? Say for instance, that's the situation, that's what the universe have in store. And you just like, when you got fired, and you like, oh my goodness, you still stuck on that. Oh my goodness, if I would never got fired, I would have been made that $100,000. Although the job that you work is a cap on it, and you only can make a certain amount. But you so focused on that and thinking that, well, this was gonna be the way that I was gonna make the money. This was gonna be the way that I was gonna have opportunities, and that way was not the way. But since you so focused on that, you missed the actual way and the easier way that you are able to make the $100,000. Okay, so I hope you guys got something from this. Make sure you let go. Okay, I don't want to say try to let go, or I don't want to say just let go, but understand when you don't let go, okay, the more you hold on to it, the more persistent, the more you are resistant. It's like the ocean and the wave, right? The wave in the ocean, honey. It's like the wave in the ocean. The more you like, I gotta stop the waves, the more the waves are going to continuously come, because you cannot stop the waves, okay? Same exact analogy. Peace.